And welcome back to another Kart or Balloon Wars. I think I'm going to make it Kart Wars today. Yeah, let's make it Kart Wars. Don't care which team I end up on. Actually, I'm going to play this guy once. Okay, we'll take it. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh Lord. Bullseye, whoever I hit. If you hear random noises, I have two cats in this room. Two little kittens. Of course, they like running around and getting under my dresser. I want a Team Fortress cart now. Okay, I don't know if that was just lucky, but that was an accident. I am dead. Not the big surprise. So far 3 minutes. Not according to my clock. Well, not according to the race clock, which is about 2:14. Get going. Get going! Hi, kitty. Alright. Bombs away, boys. That hit, no, that was terrible. Yeah, I'd like to see you hit me with one arm if I'm drifting super hard. Mid-air explosion. Ooh, 40 to 30 point lead. It's a good points difference. That's 13 is a good points difference to start with. Very strong. Pesh got bananaed. Ooh, banana. Oh, crap. Now, take that. Yeah. Gotta go fast. If I could get off this wall. Now, I wonder if Trump put that wall there. Sorry, that's a political joke. Oh, Lord. Pardon this pause for a minute. Sorry, I just got handed a Three Musketeers little piece of chocolate. There we go. I like Three Musketeers. They're good chocolate. I'm surprised that bullet bill does not kill you mid-flight if you get into a cannon. Now I know why this thing sucks, because of the acceleration and handling. Well, no matter what placement I get in the at the end of it all, I'm having fun. Take that re-swab, and yes, I will be. Pardon me if I sneeze. And yes, I will be deliberately making fun of character names. Dirty Kong. Re-swab. Baby Pesh. Oh, good Lord, excuse me. Like I said, pardon me if I sneeze. Ooh, gold shroom from 6th. 10th play. Take that, Troopa Koopa. Tupa Krupa. Tupa Krupa. That's it. Bing Koo. Bing. How many bananas do you have? So I heard the Mario movie is shaping up to be pretty good. I saw the trailer myself with Jack Black being Bowser and actually getting some voice action for once. My take on it is that it's looking impressively good. Also, we're losing by 6 points. I love the Mario 64 references with the penguins, because they're literally from that. Let's see, what else did I notice? I noticed, well, I noticed that Michael Keaton, I think that's his name, playing Toad, does an impressive job with it. But good Lord, they could have gotten somebody else to be Mario. Like, heck, they could have gotten an Irish person to actually be Mario. That would have been a little bit... I tell you what, an Irish person would actually have a better chance of playing Mario than Chris Pratt. Not the narc on the dude. I'm not against Chris Pratt being Mario. I'm just like, okay, this is a choice they made. I'm willing to accept the choice. Okay, what was that? I'm willing to accept the fact that they chose Chris Pratt as Mario. I am very willing to accept that fact, as well as Seth Rogen for Donkey Kong. My one little nitpick, and I'm okay with this too. I'm okay with Jack Black completely being Bowser. My pick would have been Frank Welker or the voice of Smaug for Bowser. That would have been way better. And you may call me a little bit of a contradictory person, and you would be right to assume so, that I am contradictory and being contrary to the choice of actors that Nintendo and Illumination made for this new Mario movie coming out next year. I think November or April? It said April. So like April 18th. That's my guess. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to say about the movie? Well, let's see. The Luigi bit there with Charlie Day, that was an okay bit. And plus, the voice of Luigi actually fits. Now, I can... Also, one other thing about Chris Pratt, I can see why they chose Chris Pratt, because the history behind Mario is that he, specifically in the first game that he started as Jumpman, which is where New York is, which is Donkey Kong, if you know what I'm saying. He's from Brooklyn, New York, so I could see what I, excuse me, chose Chris Pratt as Mario. I'm not, like I said, I'm willing to accept the fact that they chose Chris Pratt as Mario. Okay, losing my point now. I think that's all I got left to say about the Super Mario movie that's coming out now. My only wish is that it doesn't go as badly as the first one did back in 1993. I mean, even then, if they got Bob Hoskins again to play Mario, that would actually have been a little bit of a better choice, because Bob Hoskins played a better Mario for the Brooklyn role, because that one took place in both Brooklyn and Dino Hatton, but still. I don't want to talk much about that movie, because it's an oddball movie. Not the worst one, though, but it's definitely something I would call out of the ordinary. Oh, also, Scarlet and Violet, at the time of this recording, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have released. I looked at Pokemon Database for any info on other Pokemon in that game. Spoilers, kind of late spoilers, if you have not seen the game yet, or haven't heard anything of it, or you're just not interested. But Palafin is the best Pokemon in that entire game. Hands down, Palafin is the best entire Pokemon. Especially in its hero mode, but because of the ability 0 to Hero. It's kind of like Zoroark's ability, but reversed. I guess I could say that it's like Zoroark's ability, but reversed. Like if Zoroark, like if Zoroark's in the front, it comes out as the last Pokemon. It comes out as the last Pokemon disguise, which would be, let's say, an Abra. I think that's how its ability goes. However, Palafin, if you switch it out from within the party, it goes straight to its hero mode, 0 to Hero. That's actually a pretty good play on words. Okay, every so often I have to make a cut because this little camera here, can only record up to 25 minutes at a time. Ah! That was right at me. It was right on me, man. King Booze. I would love to see a Nintendo Kart game where it's like Smash Ultimate, but Nintendo characters from other franchises. As well as Sonic, I guess. Alright, where were we? Big time! But yeah, a Nintendo Kart game would be, I think a debatably good game. Like Nintendo Kart with Kirby in it, Samus. Although I don't think Samus would fit with her armor on, because it'd probably break the kart's chassis. That's a giant daisy. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. But I think I mentioned this in the first Kart Wars season. So this is technically season, what, 3 now? Because I know I already did the last one. Wasn't the last one done, oh, good grief. I know I did the last Kart Wars season in a full sitting. All 32 races. This is why random mode's is the best mode, because it already remembers which one you've been at, so it doesn't pick it again until it loops around completely. And even then, after it picks all of them, it's still random entirely. Let's see. I got time to record another race, and then I'll cut it here. Wait, we're already on race 6? So that means in about a 25-minute span of time, I could fit about 6 or 7 races here. That's actually pretty impressive with this little Cyclops gear camera. Get off my track, you little midget head. Get off my track. I came up with my own Ironhide domination quotes if he was in TF2 and dominating not Shockwave in the field of battle. So please forgive me if my voice acting is a little a little bit gorilla style. Dominated, you one-eyed crossformer. Consider yourself dominated, you scout son of a glitch. Dominated, you wheel-spinning junk heap. I love your death, Cyclops. Your death is sweet like Energon is sweet. Gobotron is not a real planet. You are a robot with a dress. God, I love Team Fortress 2. Absolutely hilarious. I think the Soldier is the best class with the best domination lines. Well, okay, second place of the Heavy, actually. Soldier's got the second best at domination lines. The Heavy's got the best ones. The best ones. Oh, this is not good. Never mind, it's good, because I hit that magic ramp thing. Oh, Lord. Oh, sweet Mamma Mia. How am I in first? Well, then again... If there was a challenger mode or expert mode, like above hard mode for this game, like where it actually made it harder instead of hard mode, where I like get an average of about 3rd to 4th place every couple races, then this would be a little bit better. But honestly, if I'm in the 1st place spot, I'm not going to be getting a lot of, it's just like I'm just racing a time trial but with items. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that, please. Hey! Someone please correct me if I'm wrong on that, because if I'm in 1st place, there's nothing happening except me just getting items randomly. Hey! Did not mean to do that. I tried steering back towards the left, but then I just caught myself right there on that ramp. I'm glad I didn't fall to my imminent death. If you're watching us now, happy early Thanksgiving and or early Merry Christmas, and happy early New Year. Well, that's a good way to start a new year, off with a good fiery flame. Starman. I missed the Starman. It's fine now. This is part of why I hate being in 1st place all the time, because I want some competition here. We've got a 32-point lead. Allow me to reintroduce some of the things I talked about in the first one. Specifically with the points differences. Okay, I've got enough time to film this one, because it's only about a minute on. Just This course on average is about 1 to 2 minutes long in length. But after this, I am going to make a cut here and resume right where we left off. Because this course takes only about a sheer minute and a half to complete, so it's not that big a deal. Anyway, so one thing I want to talk about first and foremost would be the points difference. And this is the most important thing about the game, or at least Kart Wars in itself, as it can change drastically from within a race or 2 races, dropping either plus or minus 40 points like that. If all red team got the first top 6 points, it would definitely be beneficial to them. Then there's the, I'm trying to remember. But yeah, the points difference is possibly the most important thing to talk about. Course randomness is also another thing, and AI. As random mode suggests, as it's literally a random pick. So I'm unable to properly predict which course is up next. And pardon this cut here, if you would. Well, let's check the points difference first, and then I'll make the cut. Okay. Alright, cut. Resuming off of that previous cut. Resuming off that previous cut, like I said. Okay, we're on race 8 out of 32, so that means we're roughly, after this, we'll roughly be a quarter of the way through, 25%. And that last part before I made the cut, as I've said already like 3 times, so, and I'm not sorry either. I was talking about the points difference, the course selection randomness, and the AI. The part that makes this the most fun is the AI and the course randomness, but the points difference is the most important aspect of this. Items being strategic, aggressive, or balanced, or none even, is totally up to you, whether you want it to just be a actual race with no carts, or no items. That's totally up to your discretion. My personal rules have always been 150 or mirror, 150cc or mirror mode, all carts and bikes, hard CPUs, aggressive items because it's the most crazy, random course selection, and yeah, and any cart or any. Sometimes I try to give myself a handicap, and the flame flyer is a handicap for me because of the acceleration and horrid turning. And I said horrid. That's something nasty, alright? Do you think the flame flyer would be good at a truck and tractor pull? I mean, look at its engine. It looks like it's built for one. And then again, you could say the same thing about a mini beast, although it would be for like a little mini tractor or a little mini sled. And yes, I know what a truck and tractor pull is. I've been to a good few of those myself. And once again, I am the no content man, as there's nobody here to challenge me. Dr. Toxic. Yes, the me file that I use does say a name, but then again, it's just whatever. That's the me I like to use the most. Lel. Oh lord. Sus. That was sus. The sun is sus. Yeah, I'm not sorry for making sus jokes. Okay, that Thunderbolt just saved me. Oh, that's another thing I need to talk about. The items themselves. Which ones are the most broken and or underbalanced. Well, I wouldn't say underbalanced, but overpowered and underpowered. Now, let's see. The triple banana peel itself is right there in the balance tier. So there's 3 tiers I have for this. Underpowered, balanced, overpowered. And then there's a mystery tier, which is just whatever it is. The mystery tier is what I would call its own little thing, like items that don't really belong there. I will make quick note of this, as the Thundercloud is definitely grade A mystery tier. Like, it's #1 of mystery tier. Now, first off, let's start with the banana. Simple, straight to the point, balanced. Triple banana. You get three bananas instead of the normal one. Unlike in Mario Kart 64, where you got 5 instead of 3, which is actually a lot better. I wish that item would return. That's top. That's definitely top 5 of balanced here. Green shell single, balanced. Green shell triple, right. Top 5, number 4 of top 5 balanced here. Red shell. That's on the balance here, since there's a lot that can counter the red shell. Red shell triple. That's right, actually on overpowered tier, especially in and I say especially because one, it's 3. One, you get 3 of them, but that's not why I'm putting it on. Numbers do not make it better. It's because of it. It's because of the unpredictability of them in their own likeness, or in themselves. And there's a good reason, I say, why they are on the very bottom, like definitely second to last of overpowered tier. Simply because of the fact that you can easily phase your enemies with just one of them, whittle their defenses down to nothing, and then start pelting them to death with the remaining 2 you have. Alright, what's the next item? Okay, Power Block. That's definitely grade A. That's also grade A mystery tier. That's also mystery tier, as it has little to no purpose. Also, how did I pull out that first place? Now, Bullet Bill. That is underpowered. And you might be thinking, Dr. Toxic, it's one of the best items in all of Mario Kart Wii. Well, you are correct, yes. But I say it's underpowered simply because of the fact it can be very long-lived or very short-lived. Now, I'm not going to rank them in number. I'm just placing them in tiers. So I'm kind of stereotyping the items, or categorizing them as I feel. Starman. That's actually an overpowered item. No, actually, I take that back. Balanced item. Lasts about 10 seconds, but you have invulnerability, so it can help you get into first place. But it's right on the edge of overpowered and balanced, so it's like right in between there. So should I put the Starman in its own category of Starman, or leave it as it is? I think I'll just leave it as definitely top tier balanced, like #1 of balanced actually, because it's not permanent. Fake item box. That's an underpowered item. Now, granted, it acts like a stationary green shell, which is good, and you can use it to kind of phase your enemies out by hiding it in an item box. Although it's rather ineffective. The reason it's underpowered is simply because it's stationary and it's not moving. Although I would have to say it's not the most underpowered item. A single mushroom only gets you so far, and it's underpowered massively. But it grants you an impressively good speed boost. It's definitely top of underpowered, like #1. But the very bottom of underpowered is the blooper in itself. Possibly the worst item in the entire game is the blooper. And for all the right reasons too, because good lord, is it terrible. Next up in the underpowered tier is actually the Mega Mushroom. And there's one reason why it's underpowered. And you might be thinking again, it makes you bigger, faster, and you can crush your enemies. You're also correct. But it has 2 weaknesses. Technically 3. The Thunderbolt, which will shrink you back down to normal size, but won't shrink you to being mini and shocked. Secondly, you can get hit by Starman. Yes, you heard me correct. The Starman can KO you as Mega, whoever you are, while using the Mega Mushroom. The idea is supposed to be big and invincible, yes? Well, I think Nintendo messed up a little bit. And also, bullet bills can plow through you, knocking you which can knock you right off the track. Also, I guess I'll go and throw in all the items from past and present Mario Kart games. Well, I'll do that after I get done talking about this game's items. Baba, balanced. Great, it's borderline balanced. It's definitely top 7 of balanced. Probably weighing in at number 6 at best. You get a pretty good explosion range. It can either go off instantly or take a little bit of time before it goes boom. But if it successfully hits your enemies, it can leave them crippled pretty badly for a whole race. Oh, let's see. Another balanced tier item I would have to label as a triple mushroom. 3 mushrooms. It can be used very usefully. Definitely used to get some gas and go if you've been stopped by, say, a red shell or a blue shell. Well, then again, if the blue shell wouldn't hit first place all the time, then it would actually be pretty useful. But every item is supposed to have a little bit of balancing to it. Triple mushroom is about as balanced as it gets. Now then, blue shell. Borderline overpowered, but it's also an underpowered item, as well as it is balanced, so it's in all 3 categories at once. Here's why. It hits the first in team mode. It hits the first place person of team mode. So if a red person, who is the leader, is in like 5th place and there's blue players in front of that red person who's in first, and a blue person goes the blue shell, it hits that red person who's in 5th. The same can be said if a blue team member was in let's say 3rd place and not 1st. The blue shell or red spiny shell would go right after that. That blue member is sitting in 3rd, while 2 reds are sitting in 1st and 2nd. That's why it's all 3 categories of underpowered, overpowered, and balanced. So it's universally, I would label it as universally even mystery tier even, because its logic is questionable. Because you can phase it out sometimes on like Grumble Volcano if you're lucky. I've had it track me once and go around the whole course without hitting me. That's why I label it as mystery tier even. Now whether that's a logic glitch in the game or not is up to the player to decide. But I would definitely label it as something out of the absolute ordinary. Alright, what's next? Let's see, I've labeled the POW block. There's the blue shell, speak of the devil. The Thundercloud, like I already mentioned, is grade A mystery tier, as it's worse than the blue. I'd even go as far as to say it's worse than the blooper by that logic alone, as I get RNG here. This is technically, yes, getting RNG here. Now it's time for possibly the most broken and underpowered item, and balanced, in all of Mario Kart, which already struck me once, as you saw just now. Well, no, not just now, about 10 seconds ago. That would be the Thunderbolt. In team mode with aggressive items, it is broken. Simply because it shocks the other half of your team. If items are set to aggressive, as it will appear way more often. However, it is also underpowered in that regard if it is set to if the items are set to strategic, making it appear less likely. I just got a magic stone. That was deliberate. Anyway, now like I said, the Thunderbolt is also underpowered as it is balanced and overpowered, but it is definitely not mystery tier, as it's simple. Shock everyone on your enemy team or everyone in the entire field. What makes it underpowered and broken and balanced is how often it will pop up in the item roulette, in the item roller, when getting an item block. I'm trying to think of this as I'm going along. It's not easy to explain it if you don't quite know the words to say. Let's see. Did I already cover? Alright, Golden Mushroom is broken. It's already a good item as it is. Great item even, as it can boost you from last to first in a matter of about 10 seconds. But what I'm about to say here actually makes it even more broken, as it's probably the #1 broken item in the entire game. Simply put, it's how often it'll appear in aggressive, balanced, or strategic mode. But by that logic, it also makes it balanced and also underpowered, which is fair and which is in good fairness, yes. But the three mystery tier items I would have put, as I guess you could say, item X, the item X tier, or the X tier item, which is like items that shouldn't really belong there, or in the game at all. You could say the blue shell is one of them, simply because of how it can be glitchy a little sometimes. Actually, it can be rarely glitchy. Not very often, though. Nice backflip. Anyway. One other item I want to mention. Or, wait, what item have I not mentioned? I think that about covers all of Mario Kart Wii's items. Because there's no Boo in this game, although I think there was meant to be one. There's no Super Horn, as there is in Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's no Fire Flower, unlike Mario Kart 7 and 8. There's no Boo item, unlike Mario Kart DS and now Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's no coin on him, thank God, and I hate the coins. Like, if the coins were just a little collectible, just to build up your coin meter, that's okay, but why do they have to bring that mechanic back for Mario Kart 7 and 8? What's honestly the point of that? Anyway. I think that about covers all the items. Now let's talk about the cards now, and there's, like I said, 3 tiers as well as a Kart X tier. Starting with balance, we'll get right down to the point. All the standard carts and bikes are strictly imbalanced here. They're made to be specifically balanced, but they are neither broken nor underpowered. They are strictly balanced. Now you could say that all bikes are broken in this game, simply because of the fact that you can do wheelies. Well, while you are correct, not all bikes are made equally, and not all characters are made equally either. I'm looking at you, Funky Kong, Dry Bones, and Luigi. Yes, there are 3 broken characters for each of the classes of heavy, mid, and lightweights. Funky Kong having the highest speed, as well as Luigi having the highest speed, along with Dry Bones also having the highest speed. But Dry Bones also has the best, I think you could say, drift. drift out of all the characters, simply with his stats. Funky Kong's stats, all of Funky Kong's stats are a little bit better, so they said, let's put Funky Kong in the game and let's make him broken. And you know what? They made him strictly broken. He is literally broken. Let's see, Luigi is still mainly balanced, but he actually has a little bit higher speed and acceleration than most of the other characters. Most of the other midweight characters, including the Mii. And you could also say Mii's could be broken simply because you can set their height in Mii channel on Wii. Well, while you are right to suggest that, they're also the most balanced of characters, since they're... Okay, the Mii character counts as a character X class. But back to karts. And bikes. Now, as I just mentioned, all standard karts and bikes, and I guess you could say all standard ATVs and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are balanced class, are balanced tier karts, bikes, and four-wheelers. Now, let's see, moving on to, let's start with lightweight. The booster seat. The second kart that you get is unlocked automatically at the start of the game. Like I said, it's not the most broken kart, but it's also definitely not the... I would have to put booster seat as borderline, I would say booster seat's balanced simply because it's slow, but it has incredibly good turning and drift stats. Next, Mini Beast. Actually a little bit overpowered because it has a fairly good handling stat, or turning, as well as a semi-decent and solid acceleration stat. It does not actually accelerate that slowly, so it's not that bad of a it's not that bad of a kart, by any means. It's got good mini turbo, so it can get you some places pretty quickly. Now then, what's next? Tiny Titan. That's a balanced class, tier 1. A lot of these are going to be balanced class or underpowered. What's next? The Blue Falcon. That's an underpowered one simply because of the fact that it's a little it's just not super great, but it ain't super terrible either. But I'm putting it at underpowered because of the fact that it just feels slippery. A lot of these are based off of my speculation and opinion, so yeah, I just need to make that clear. Y'all can't say anything against me if I narc on your favorite kart. Oh, the Cheap Charger's actually broken. Fast acceleration, superb handling, superb drift, superb. I don't think it has great mini turbo, but I know for a fact it's got great handling, acceleration, and drift, which is amazing. Racing against the clock so I can get this make another cut here. Then there's the there's 6 karts total. I think that's all the baby karts. Now onto the baby bikes. And I've already mentioned for like the 15th time that the standard bike S, M, and L are already balanced tier class by default. They're by default balanced here. I'm going to make the cut here after we check the points difference. Resuming off of that previous cut, I was talking about the kart tiers now. I already listed all the baby karts, now I'm listing the baby bikes. bullet bike, broken tier. OP tier. Superb drift, not bad acceleration, good speeds, but there's one little Achilles heel it has, and that would be its weight. For some reason, in Mario Kart Wii, if you're using a bullet bike, sometimes it'll catch massive air. A lot of times you don't want to catch massive air unless you're trying to like get to another ledge up above. Now, while you are correct to assume that that's not a bad thing, but imagine if enemies are going faster than you on the ground and you're still in the air for about another second or so, per se. That means that the enemies are outspeeding you a little bit because if they have a boost of sorts or are using mushrooms to get them a little bit ahead in the game. And you're just sitting there in the air after you've done a trick, waiting to hit the ground to get that boost. That could set you back a little bit. That's why it's... Now granted, it is in the OP tier, but it is definitely bottom of the OP tier because of its good stats. Now, Bit Bike, underpowered tier. Speed will have a lot to play in this, but it not having great speed makes up for it with an actually decent drift stat and handling stat. All bikes seem to handle pretty dang well. All bikes, for the most part, seem to handle fairly well. Bike number 4, that would be the Magic Cruiser. That's a, I'm gonna put that one at a kart/bike X tier, as I don't know what to put it as. Now then, the Quacker. That is OP tier. That's OP tier, regardless of what anyone says. It's actually fast. It's actually good at turning and accelerating. You can do some pretty impressive drift with it, as it seems to have. Well, no, it's not better at drifting than the bullet bike, but it's right up there with the bullet bike's drift. It is right up there. And here's another thing, like I already mentioned earlier, wheelies. The fact that this thing can wheelie and not the carts is amazing already as it is, which makes it definitely puts it in the broken tier. And unlike the bullet bike where it's bottom, it's actually, the Quacker is definitely top of the bike tier OP section, for OP tier. Definitely top of that one. And I guess you could say the Flame Runner is too, but then again, there's one little outlier for it. There's one little thing that's going to hold that Flame Runner, the Flame Runner pack, being its acceleration and handling stats. Anyway, back to the baby bikes, the small class bikes. Now then, let's see, Jet Bubble. That's another. That's a balanced tier one. I've used the Jet Bubble a few times. It's not an amazing bike, but it's definitely one that can serve you a good bit. Where were we? Let's see. Then there's the, what's the last one? No, that's all the baby bikes. Onto the mid-class characters in their carts now. Let's see. Starting with the classic dragster. And yes, I will re-mention this several times. All standard vehicles, bikes and otherwise, are strictly balanced tier. They have the most balanced stats, and they are neither broken nor underpowered. Now then, before I get back to the classic dragster, you might be thinking, quit mentioning it if we already know. I'm just doing that to torture you guys so you have to hear me saying it. Secondly, classic dragster. Good handling, good drift, pretty robust speed. Although some have said it's rather slow. Well, while you might be correct to assume that, don't jump to that conclusion yet, as it's definitely better than most of the mid-class karts, as well as most of the mid-class bikes. Its speed, what it does apparently lack in speed, it makes up for in drifting, turning, and its mini turbo, as well as the fact that it's one of the most stout vehicles in the mid-class category. Definitely one of the most stout of them all. After this race, I'm going to make another cut for a minute because I got to charge my little camera up for a while. Anyway, I'll mention this quick. Wildwing, that's an underpowered vehicle simply because of the fact that it low turning, low acceleration, very low acceleration, bad weight. Yes, it's supposed to be stout, yes. Now, I have used it a fair bit, but it's rather a slippery one, too. I'm just going to say underpowered and leave it at that, because it's not amazing. Not amazing at all. Granted, it has good mini turbo, which would put it at balanced, but it puts the Wildwing at top of underpowered, so it has that going for it. Excuse me. Day Tripper. OP tier for mid-class. It's got ridiculously good speed as well as acceleration. And the fact that it has good handling, mini turbo, and drift. Also, it can do a tilt while it's drifting. Just hold down right or left and keep it held there while you're drifting, and you'll do a hard drift, yes. But you'll also tilt on your wheels, which is even more impressive. I think the best stat for the Day Tripper though would be its mini turbo, as it seems to be the longest lasting out of all mid-class karts. Now then, there's the Super Booper. That is a balanced class. That's a balanced tier kart, as it's fairly balanced. It has good handling, good drift, good mini turbo. Not so good acceleration or speed, but it definitely makes up for it with its bottom stats, being, like I mentioned, drift, handling, and mini turbo. The three most important, I would have to claim, other than speed and acceleration. Now let's check the points difference while I charge my camera up. I'm making a cut here for now. We are ready to resume. Race 19 out of 32. Let's see, where was I? Oh yes, the balancing class and stuff about the karts and bikes. Now let's see, I already talked about the Super Blooper and the Day Tripper, as well as the Wildwing and Classic Dragster, already labeling all the standards as balanced class strictly, balanced tier strictly. And then, oh boy, we get on to the Sprinter. This vehicle, underpowered. Speed does serve it well if you want a fast race, but its stat spread is horrible. Low acceleration, low drift, low handling. Now it should actually have ridiculously high handling, because that's how dragsters are supposed to be. They're supposed to turn really good. The Sprinter is the opposite of a drag racing vehicle or a sprinting vehicle or, you know, one of those actual race car looking ones. It's the complete opposite of one. They're supposed to get up to speed pretty quickly. be able to turn well, and they're supposed to have pretty good mini turbo. Well, I don't think they're supposed to have good mini turbo because of their engines. But the Sprinter, just underpowered by a lot, man. It just lacks. It lacks in almost every way possible. Like, even its lacking lacks. Now then, we move on to the medium tier, mid-class bikes. And there's also 5 of them, with the exception, there's 6 if you include all of the standard ones. On to the Mach bike. Mach bike. Balance class. It's balanced here. Low acceleration and turning, but it has good speed and good drift to make up for that, as well as a good mini turbo and wheelie. Super Scooter, Super Scoot. Super Scoot or Sugar Scoot. I don't know which it is, so I'm just gonna call it the pizza bike because it looks like a pizza bike, and it's also a scooter. So yeah, not a whole lot you could say about Super Scoot. Low speed, good turning, and good acceleration, as well as it's got mid-tier drift, but very good. It's got very good mini turbo, and well, as you know, it does wheelies. So it puts it at definitely top of the of balanced tier, because the speed isn't overly impressive. But it does make up for its lack of speed with that of its acceleration, turning, and drift. Now we move on to the Zip Zip. That's a balanced tier bike. It's basically the standard bike if it was a Harley Davidson. And yes, I say that with a passion. The Zip Zip is a Harley Davidson. It's essentially a mini bike. You could call it a mini bike, and while it is a little bit slower than that of the standard bike, it actually makes up for that with its ridiculously good drift and airtime that it can catch. The Sneakster. It's essentially the Sprinter but as a bike, and it also lacks, so it's underpowered. However, unlike the Sprinter, which can't do wheelies, the Sneakster can. But even with the wheelies, you'll have some trouble with it. So good luck using the Sneakster if you ever get to that point. Race 21. Alright, where's all the 21 memers? Come on. Alright. Now the Dolphin Dasher. This one is a Bike X tier because I don't know what to say about it. I honestly have no words for it because it's like, what were they thinking in my case? I don't say it's bad, and it's not bad by any stretch, but it's just possibly the least popular of the bikes to use. And I say that with a passion, that it is probably even the most hated mid-class bike. I say that with a dying passion that the Dolphin Dasher is perhaps the most hated mid-class bike of all mid-class bikes. Get off the track, Pesh. Re-swab. Okay, that was just me. That was just me being stupid. Now we move on to the fat class, or the heavyweight class of vehicles and bikes. Starting with the off-roader, it's a very balanced vehicle. For some reason, it's got low drift, which actually makes sense considering it's a dune buggy. Excuse me, I sneezed again. Yes, low drift, and however, its turning, its handling stat is actually a little less than average, surprisingly. It actually lacks in steering, and you'd expect it to steer pretty well, but it doesn't. Which is kind of a shock to me, considering I like the off-roader, I like dune buggies. But the off-roader does not have good steering, or drifty. But it does have good, it's got about mid-tier, mid-tier mini turbo, so that's why it's in balance. I was gonna put it in underpowered, but I decided not to, because that would be a great disservice to Funky Kong and the heavyweight class characters. Let's see, the Flame Flyer, that of which I'm using right now. Not absolutely terrible, but it's now granted it actually has good drift and speed, and that's what it makes up for, as well as it does mini turbo. But its handling off-road and acceleration, the worst in the entire game. Worse than that of the Jet Setter. Excuse me. Yes, its acceleration is worse than the Jet Setter, despite the fact that it's also slower than the Jet Setter. Now, Flame Flyer does have good mini turbo, as I've already mentioned, as well as one of the best designs and best engine noises, literally being a V8 engine. But there's one thing, but as I already mentioned now, the things that kill my likeness for it: the low acceleration, the low handling, and the low off-road, which makes it a tough challenger. Just because it has the looks and does well in certain parts does not make it the best. Which is why I put it in the underpower tier of vehicles for heavyweight. Now, moving on to the Piranha Prowler. Underpower tier by default. Granted, it is incredibly bulky with its weight stat being the highest of all vehicles in the entire game. If you were using Bowser or Dry Bowser or Wario, literally being the highest, and you can shove enemies a mile away from you. It lacks in speed, turning, drift, and just about everything else. Literally having about the most less than average stats than even that of the standard kart, large, medium, or small. And I say that as a fact. Now it has rather average mini turbo, which is to be expected. But its total lack of off-road and other stats where it could do well, it kind of kills it, don't you think? Next, the Honeycube. OP tier. The Honeycube is bizarrely good. Having an average acceleration stat, great speed, great handling, great turning, not so good off-road, but incredibly awesome mini turbo. Being by far the best heavyweight class car, literally being the best. Having such good stats like that makes it possibly the best in the entire game. Like, better than even that of the Blue Falcon, the Classic Dragster, or even the Day Tripper. And it makes up, when it lacks in off-road, it definitely makes up for it with its other stats, as I just mentioned, being its speed, its acceleration, its handling, and its drift, as well as Mini Turbo, which is possibly the third highest in the entire game of all karts, being third highest. Only third to that of the Cheap Charger, and I believe also the Classic Dragster and/or Day Tripper. But I think the Cheap Charger has the highest Mini Turbo stat of all karts in the game, with Day Tripper being numero dos, number 2. And now we get to the buzzkill of it all, the Jet Setter. Let's see, the fastest vehicle in the game by all means, and rightfully so, because it's a jet with no wings. But there's something here that kills it. Well, let me go right into details. Everything kills it. The only thing that it's got going good for it is its speed, and that's just barely it. That's all it's got going. Weight barely even matters for the Jet Setter. Granted, it can take a punch from getting rammed by a mushroom-using baby class or mid-class character. But speed is all that the Jet Setter has going for it, and only Funky Kong utilizes it the most proficiently. It has below average acceleration, being a little bit higher. It has, below average acceleration being a little bit higher than the Flame Flyer, but it has worse drift and worse handling than the Flame Flyer, as well as Mini Turbo, being the shortest Mini Turbo in the entire game. Worse than that of the Sprinter. Now, Jet Setter's good if you just want a jet race, but other than that, it's not good. Like, it lacks in every other department. Granted, you could get some debatably good airtime with it because of its weight stat, but that's about all the Jet Setter has going for it. So that's why it's in the underpowered tier. Now, if it had higher stats, like say, now if it had a higher turning stat to where it was about average, I would put it in balanced tier. Whereas the Honeycube is better in almost every case, the Jet Setter's good in almost no case whatsoever, lacking literally everywhere. Even the Flame Flyer outclasses it a little bit because of its drift stat and its Mini Turbo. Now onto the heavy class bikes, and this is where things are about the same. This is where things are about the same as the mid-class, but with a few differences. Maybe a few differences. Starting off with the Flame Runner, except for the standard bike large, because I've already mentioned it. I'm going to mention it again just so I can torture you guys. All standard vehicles, bikes, whatever, are strictly balanced here. Now, where do we start with the Flame Runner? Well, first off, it has great speed and great turning. No, not turning, drift, as you would expect. Having possibly 5th best in the entire game, tied with that of the Mach Bike and Quacker, probably tied with the Quacker and Mach Bike, but definitely having one of the best bike Mini Turbo stats for being bike number 2 out of all selection choices for a class, for a weight class. However, it's the bike with the lowest acceleration stat, being actually slightly worse than the Flame Flyer, considering it's a bike with Bowser's face on it. You'd think that the Flame Runner actually excels at a couple things. Well, it excels at almost everything. Almost everything. Yes, having possibly the worst off-road stat in the entire game, which is what you'd expect from a speed bike. Knock on wood. So of course it wouldn't do super good on dirt, or anything like rough dirt. Mini Turbo for bikes is always bad since they only have one stage of it. But Mario Kart 8 fixed this, so bikes are a little bit better in that game. Now, granted, with the Flame Runner, you can actually grab some pretty good air time. So you can hang it. So you can hang 10 for about a solid 3 seconds. Moving on to the Wario bike. Oh yes, right. Where do I put the Flame Runner? I would put it at balance because of the low acceleration, low turning, and the fact that it has low off-road. I would definitely put it at balanced here at best. Moving on to the Wario bike. I'm gonna have to make a cut here again soon. Moving on to the Wario bike. Underpowered. Low speed, good turning and good, semi-good drift. Well, being solid... Oh, sorry. Being solid... It's just that being solid is, well, just decent enough to pass. At least it would pass for off-road tier. But it lacks in speed pretty badly, so that's why it's, that's why the Wario bike is being underpowered here. Now then, moving on to the Shooting Star. Where do I put this one? I would put it in OP tier. having a drift set that's just as good as the Flame Runner, being a better accelerator and can turn better than the Flame Runner, granted. It's not as fast as it, but it's definitely up there with the Honeycube in terms of its stats. Being the best bike, being possibly the best bike out of the heavy class, like the heavyweight characters in Mario Kart Wii. Now the speeder, underpowered just like the Jet Setter. Now the same reasons are for the Jet Setter, but it's slightly better only because of the fact that it gets wheelies. But with Funky Kong, it has the same exact speed stat as anyone else using a Jet Setter, and that much is true. Now we move on to the Phantom. This is a Harley that's been souped up, that's been spiced up, but it has one major buzzkill to it. No drift. Absolutely horrible drift stat. So what does it make up for? Yeah, what does the Phantom have to make up for, other than possibly good paint jobs? Well, speed, acceleration, and turning, and mini turtle. That's all it's got going. Let's see the points difference before I make another cut and have to charge my camera again. And I think that about ranks all the vehicles. Next I will tackle maps. Resuming off that last cut now, we are able to move along with the rest of the, hopefully the rest of the Kart Wars for, what, Season 3 now? All of Blue Team has the first 6 spots. That's doing that'll gain well, pretty much we're guaranteed to win the whole thing now. Because if you can get above a 100 or so points lead and points difference and keep it for the whole thing, you're just gonna win. Bowser Jr. died. First place again. What else is new? Yeah, we're pretty much guaranteed to win the whole thing. I still remember once, though, I had it be a perfect tie. Literally about 1,000 to 1,000 points, I think it was. Remember when these carts actually used to hurt you? Yeah, now in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe they don't. I have fallen. I fell. Alright, what am I going to talk about now? I think I'm going to talk about the courses like this one. It feels like a roller coaster and a half, literally. There's literally tracks you drive on. You literally go up and down. It's made out of wood and steel, which most roller coasters are nowadays, made out of both wood and steel. That would have been a loading platform right there, yeah. Wario's gold mine in itself is awesome, as it is. Like the actual mine, I mean. But there's no gold in the main section, so Wario really isn't getting much out of this. I guess you could call this the cart hub, where the carts kind of get parked. Talk about a riveting experience. Bullseye, Bowser. Re-swap. Whoa, I nearly drove off there. The Wii Mario Circuit's actually pretty cool. The GameCube Mario Circuit's seems a little too basic to me. I'm not gonna put those in tiers because they're just to me. Oh, that's evil. Donkey Kong, you piece of garbage. Now I can hit my head on this pole in shame for being terrible. Well, we're still winning, so it barely matters. I hate this course so much, even with the ice not being terrible. The ice is still terrible in this, even though they fixed it pretty good. I like crappy snowland better, or frappe, whatever it's called. I just call it crap. Ugh! Die! Double die. Never mind here. Okay, thanks for taking care of that baby Pesh face. You pieces of crap. Don't know why I decided to slow down other than grab. Never mind. Nope, that was terrible. Die. Dead. Not big surprise. Oh Lord. Oh, jeez. In here, though, where this rock is, it's actually a pretty good section to drift on. But the ice kills your momentum real easy. Hey, look, it's lug wide. Lug wide. Oh, never mind. Ah! Lord. Bullet Bill. This is why I said the Blue Bill is an underpowered and overpowered item. Bullseye. That stunk, literally. Look, it's Danky King. Danky King. Go, go, go! 40th place, I'll take it. I meant 4th, but yeah, I said 40th. Huh, all 3 Bowser types are here. I mean, I guess you could count Koopa Troopa as a Bowser thing. Well, we're at the grand stretch now. Imagine if there was Mario Kart Triple Dash, where you'd ride with 3 players. Kind of like how Sonic, Sonic Heroes does on GameCube, where you use 3 characters and stuff like that. That would be awesome. Wiggler Crossing. Swiggity swooty. I'm coming for the gold trophy. Swiggity swooty. I'm coming for that trophy. What, you think I was going to say booty? No, that's for pirates. That was a terrible choice I made because I thought I could because I thought I would turn well enough. Starman. Like, can you imagine? Remember a couple minutes ago, or however long it was, when I mentioned that there should be a Team Fortress Kart or something, or like a Super Nintendo Kart or something like that, where characters from other franchises would come into the Mario Kart universe to just duke it out. Like, what if Saxton Hale was in Mario Kart? He'd be unstoppable. I don't know about his car, but I know what Saxton Hale himself would be. Pal Laneth. I like to read backwards sometimes. I thought I got the boost off that. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm still in first anyway. No Content Man is back still. Uh-oh. You can tell the flame flower was made for this section because of the trees and how. Oh, crud. Vote of no confidence. Also, recently YouTube has now been allowing people with under 1,000 subscribers to make community posts. I'm not against that, but I'm just like, oh, okay, this is awesome. I don't intend on using community posts a lot, but I will use it some. I won't just constantly post stuff because that's just a little excessive. We only lead by like 103. Still, that 103 point lead could change drastically in a matter of 2 races. Especially considering we've only got 3 left, counting Grumble Volcano. I'm not going to try the super shortcut cheat. That's out of my league with the Flame Fire. But if I was on a bike, then if I was using a bike like the Flame Runner or the Mario bike or something like that, or even the standard bike, Yeah, I could give it a shot, but of course I'd throw the race or still make very low grade placement in Mario Kart. That went about as poorly as it could have. Oh, that was okay, that was Peach with Thunder, with Starman. I think Mario Kart's probably the most successful piece of Nintendo franchising. As you know, with the Mario Kart 8 DX DLC recently. Surprisingly, I haven't heard anything else about it. Like, we've only had 2 waves. Where's the rest of it at? Or is that all we're getting? Because we're not going to get Mario Kart 9 anytime soon. Strangely enough, this is the one course where Flameflyer's off-road stat is actually kind of useful. Because you can drift in this random dirt area for no reason, even though you're massively slower. I don't get why that's the case. I honestly don't. I like how he just instantly faded back, like flipped right back to his sitting position. Yeah. You can predict where they're gonna land, but you just can't predict when they're gonna launch out of the volcano. I still pull out the first place in a matter of about 10 seconds. Hi, kitties. Anyway. Race 31 out of 32. Which means GBA Bowser Castle 3 is the last course. Cripe. Ah, cripe. Sorry, I was driving one-handed for a second. Any motions are kind of useless on this whole area. That was cheap. Welcome to Pancake. Welcome to Pancake Zone. What can I get for you? Certainly not bombs. Or bombs with wheels. Oh, that was kind of a good emergency break-up. Lugfly all the way up there? Dude, Luigi needs to carry this one. Don't look like he's gonna know. Like that. Ah, crud. I swear, I'm not paying enough attention to the thing. Hi! Come here, King Boo. Do you think anyone who gets literally gets knocked into the sky by a Mega Mushroom, Bullet Bill, or Starman or Bomb even, would get a little bit of motion sickness? I like how the speed limit's like 90 miles per hour. Is there a highway anywhere in the world, other than the Autobahn in Germany, where it has a speed limit of to that degree? And yes, I know what the Autobahn is. It's literally the highway with no speed limit. You can go as fast as you want or as slow. You can go like, I don't know, maybe 300 miles an hour. Final race, and then it's time to close out this season's Kart Wars with a big ceremony. Not really a ceremony, but the game has a ceremony. Boom! Get her done. Hang on. There, that's better. Pause it for... Hang on. Pull the camera back. There we go. That's a little better. I just had to tilt it up. Yes, that's a lot better. I just had to tilt it up. Yeah, that was deliberate. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. I'm a sheep. I say beep, beep. I'm a sheep. Meow, 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 meow. No. Don't. Alright. Alright, let's get down the road. Slow down so I can ram into you. Okay. What? Oh no! I went two-faced. Wow, how am I doing this terrible? Haha! Let's rock. Ha ha ha! So long as I don't hit the 25-minute mark, I'm good. Oh boy, I need to watch the road. I was looking at my cat for a second and I wasn't paying attention to the road. I know how Nintendo made these vehicle sounds work. They pitched them up as they made the looping sound for them. So that's how that works, I think. It pitches it up as the kart itself speeds up, which makes sense. And this, my friends, will officially close out the Season 3, I think, Mario Kart Wars 3, officially documented on video. There's your final points difference and points total. Let's close out this ceremony. Let's close out with this ceremony that the game provides. Yes, I went the whole thing without using my Mii once. Take a good look at the points. I'll actually put the camera up to the screen myself to get a better view of them. And that'll do it. See you later.